There we go. Hello and welcome to the Marketing After Party with myself, Vina V, and Sam Day. Oh, we can't hear you, Sam.
Oh, my mic was muted.
Oh, now I can. There we go.
How's it going? How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Like you said, some technical issues, technology, but it won't get the best of us.
It won't.
Feels great being here.
Good. And as in our tradition, Marketing After Party, we got to put our little...
Put the marketing hat on.
Now, if you don't know what the Marketing After Party is, the first Friday of every single month, we go live on Sam's channel first, and then we continue the live stream over on my channel. So if you haven't watched part one of this video, make sure you do, because we went really in depth about how to actually create your YouTube or Facebook ads. And we gave some great tips, didn't we, for beginners in terms of lighting, sound, scripting your video. So yeah, make sure you go and watch that. The link is below this. Right, let's take off our little hat. So that's what the Marketing After Party is. And today's video, we're going to talk about how we both have lost thousands of pounds creating our own Facebook ads. And this really is the truth about Facebook ads 2021, because I feel there aren't enough videos out there that are telling you what it's really like to make a Facebook ad, put it on Facebook, and what kind of results to expect. Because Sam, there's a lot of people out there selling courses on Facebook ads, and of course they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to say, I've made £1 million using Facebook ads, but they're not actually telling you what's happening behind the scenes, are they?
No, I mean, Facebook and any ad platform really, there's a learning phase. Yeah. So anyone who you know who kind of does ads correctly, not just you have to learn stuff, but your ads have to go through a learning phase as well. So it's actually a marketing term as well. If you kind of take any kind of like official Google ads courses or Facebook ads courses or whatnot, they will always talk about this learning phase that your ads have to go through. And obviously in order to learn, you have to actually spend money. And in spending money, you could use the word losing money, or you could use the word investing money, or I like to use the term buying data. So you're putting money in so that you can get the analytics back. So you know what ads are working, you know what ads are not working, you know what's converting, and that's why it's important to kind of have all of your conversion pixels in place and tracking pixels in place and so on and so forth. So when you do get the data back, you know how to read that data so that it's not just gambling money away and throwing it in front of Facebook, but it's actually putting that money where it can and needs to be.
Sam is such an expert on Facebook ads because you've been doing it for a while. And I love your first point. And I think that bit is all about mindset. So just be prepared that when you put money into Facebook, and I know I've called this video losing thousands on Facebook. And even though, yeah, technically you have lost the money, but that's turn that terminology around. So rather than what you lose, do you know what, when it comes to our mind, you always think about losing as negative, isn't it? Like, I lost my house keys, I lost my phone, I lost a friendship, I lost whatever. It's always so negative. But just turn it around. So turn the word loss into gain, because especially with Facebook ads, even though you may have spent hundreds or even thousands of pounds, you've actually gained knowledge on what the audience on Facebook are responding to with your Facebook ads. And as Sam said, it's Facebook have to learn. Facebook don't know what your audience are going to click on until you start pumping a bit of money into it. And Sam, I want you to actually go more in depth on this point, because I think it's such a great way to start this video. We're going to give loads of obviously practical tips on how to avoid spending lots of money. But I really want, because you said this to me when I first started doing my Facebook ads, I was like, I've spent all this money and no one's bought anything. Like, should I stop my ads? What should I do? And what did you say to me, Sam?
I can't remember exactly what I said, but probably something along the lines of is you have to spend money in order to make money. And like I want to kind of like break it down in these three letters, which is LVC, which is the lifetime value of your customer. So when you're thinking about spending money with Facebook ads, like you really need to think about the the long term. So you might run, and this is something that you mentioned as well in my live just a few minutes ago, which was that you might gain someone through your email list, or someone might see your ad and they're aware of you now because you've spent that money, but they might not actually become a customer for another month or 2 months or a year even. And someone might buy. So maybe you spend £2,000 on ads and someone buys and they only buy £1,000 worth of product. And on the face of it, it might look like you made £1,000 loss. But if they're happy with your product and the service, then they might come back again next year and spend £3,000 with you. So now all of a sudden, that campaign that lost you £1,000 initially now actually made you £4,000. And when you think about that in the grand scheme of, how many customers you can get through Facebook ads over time, that's why doing email marketing is important. Doing pixel retargeting is important. Showing up on multiple platforms is important. To kind of get the most value out of your customer, and really knowing what is your estimated lifetime value of your customer. So that will kind of give you an indication of how much you can spend on Facebook. And the more you can spend to acquire a new customer, then the better chances you have of beating your competitors.
And sometimes you can't even track these things. We try and track everything, but someone may see your Facebook ad. And if you're watching this live, by the way, or on the replay, put your comments in so we can actually give you whatever questions you've got about Facebook ads. Please do ask us, so you don't end up spending thousands and thousands. Like, we've tested a lot of stuff, especially Sam. So we'll want to try and make this, packed full of tips for you as well. But also just bear in mind that you do have to spend money. And we're going to be talking about this. We might seem like we're contradicting ourselves sometimes, but bear with us and it will all start making sense, especially if you're new to Facebook ads. But going deeper into what Sam said, someone may see your Facebook ad, they may click on it, they then may go to whatever you're promoting. So I was promoting a free YouTube training, which then sold my YouTube course at the end. So even though I spent, I think it was more than £1,000 on Facebook ads, I think one or two people bought from that initial spend. But even though that was maybe either losing £500 or breaking even, the other people that clicked on that ad but didn't buy, I still don't know when they're going to buy. They may see something from me on Instagram stories next week and then buy that product for $500, but I won't know. I'm not going to know where they've come from unless I ask them. Or if you're really good, and maybe Sam can explain it better in terms of tracking people properly. But sometimes you don't know, and this is the thing. And Sam, that's actually not, you didn't say that to me, so I'm going to tell you what you said. What you said to me. But Sam, to make me feel better when I first started doing Facebook ads and YouTube ads, because I literally did think, I'm spending so much money, like, is there any point? I thought that, is there any point in doing this? And Sam said to me, Vina, see it as a marketing budget. So every month, Sam, I don't know how much you're putting in now, but as an example, say every month, say £100 or £200, or choose whatever you want, whatever you can afford, put that in as your marketing cost, and that's it. If you get results straight away, that is frigging amazing. That's awesome. But if you don't, it doesn't matter. You're not losing that money. You don't know when someone's going to buy from you. As Sam said, it may be in a few weeks, it may be in 6 months, it may be in 2 years. We ain't going to know. There's so many what ifs in the world. We can't worry about the what ifs in life, can we? So just have that budget, even if it is £50 or £100. That was the advice you gave me, Sam. Do you remember?
That sounds like some really great day tips that I gave you there. But no, I completely agree. And have a test budget every month that you're prepared to lose. Well, lose is, I don't like using the word lose, but that you're prepared to invest to buy yourself some data. But also when it comes to Facebook, well, you're never really going to know what's going to really work for you. But when it comes to like Facebook ads and any other ads, to be fair, but obviously we're focusing on Facebook ads, but not all website traffic is created equal.
Yeah.
So Facebook actually gives you the ability to choose your audience, and you can choose a custom audience as well within Facebook. So what I tend to do now is I try to run ads against my email list, my past website visitors. For clients as well, I've run ads against their Instagram followers or their Facebook page. And like Vina said, someone might have seen you a long time ago. So maybe you was doing some SEO, or maybe you was doing some YouTube marketing or whatever it was. And those people are now on your database, or they visited your website. You can retarget them again. And that is warmer traffic. These are people who, because they're familiar with you, they're more likely to trust you a little bit more, to be more responsive with your ad, rather than someone who has never seen you before. It's going to cost more money to warm that person up and to get them to trust you a little bit more as well. So that can help you to spend a lot less and get a higher return on investment.
I'm so happy you brought that up, because it's so true. If you can and again, look at this in, you know, if you're sat there watching this right now thinking, oh, I've just started Facebook ads, like, what are they talking about? Look at it from the practical point of view. So you trust someone that you know. So if you've already been on Sam or mine's website, or you're watching this video right now, you're more likely to buy something from us because you know us, rather than a cold ad that you see on Facebook. So see it like that, like market to those people first, because just because someone's come to your website, just because someone's watched you on YouTube, just because someone has is on your mailing list, it doesn't mean that they're going to buy from you straight away either. They might need to see your ad a few times, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot I was subscribed to Vina's or Sam's channel. Let me see what this free webinar is, or product they're selling, and how it can help me. So yeah, always market those people first that already know you. And even from my experience with YouTube, talking about YouTube ads now as well a little bit, and this happened to me on Facebook, but the people that already knew me, I was paying much less for those leads coming in and those clicks than someone who did not know. And I think even when I was running YouTube ads, no joke, Sam, I think I spent like 7p on a sign up once, which is like quite unheard. I can't even talk now. Unheard of. Usually you might be spending a few pounds. Some people do. So yeah, and that's because I targeted my YouTube subscribers. So again, proving the point of what Sam just said.
Yeah, and even if so for those people who might be watching thinking, I don't have a list, I don't have a YouTube channel, I don't have an audience, like what, I'm just starting out. Well, you can warm up your traffic. So I have a lot of videos on my channel about like installing the Facebook pixel on your website. I have one that I put out this week on Shopify. I had one that I put out on Squarespace. And, you know, there's, depending on what platform you're using, there's loads of tutorials out there on how to do it. But if you're completely new to Facebook ads and you don't have an existing audience, then I recommend making sure you have the Facebook pixel installed on your website, and then run traffic from Facebook to your website, and you can run an ad beside that to people who saw the first ad. So that means the people who've seen the second ad now, they've seen you a second time, and it's like, okay, cool, they're growing a little bit more familiar. So you have to now warm up the traffic, and if you get people to opt into something, like Vina was saying, a webinar, a free gift or something like that, then that's the way to get them into your ecosystem, get them onto your mailing list. You can email them, send them blog articles, send them to your YouTube videos and stuff like that, and warm them up so that they are warmer leads now. And yeah, if you do have a list though, or you do have a little following of people, I'd say of at least 500 people, if you're struggling to convert that list of people, then it's going to probably be 10 times harder to convert someone who is completely new. So I would put a lot of effort and energy into trying to get your current followers as customers before you then venture out and start finding cold visitors.
Mate, you know Sam's in his element here because he just goes like bang. You're so much value in what you just said then, and so many power tips in there for you as well. It's like, and again, go and watch Sam's video. We went live on his. So this is the marketing after party. If you're just joining us live, we the first Friday of every month we go live on Sam's channel first for part 1 of this video, and then part 2 we continue over here. So 2 p.m. BST first Friday of every month, and on Sam's channel, watch the video. I'll leave the link below. But we were talking about. Oh no, I've just lost my train of thought. Then
we were talking about YouTube ads. And the production side of it.
Just saying, I'm so bigging up our show. Then I completely forgot the point of why. I think I was talking about the structure. Yeah. So I think the structure. Oh no, that was it. That's what I remember now. We were both talking about having multiple ads. So if you're beginner to Facebook ads, great tip now again for you to save a bit of money here, or just test more stuff. Is don't just have one ad. Don't have one ad. Have maybe 5 different ads and have them in different media formats. So maybe have 2 video ads and then a text ad with an image, another text ad with a different image, and something else, a blog article, whatever. Sam just gave you some great tips there as well. And again, going back to what Sam said and putting it to the people who are real beginners, let them see different things from you, because they might see one ad from you on Facebook and they might not click on it because maybe that ad didn't resonate with them. But Facebook can still check, can't they? Can still tell if that person has watched that ad. So even if they didn't click, even if they've watched the ad but they didn't click on it, send them a different ad that this time it might be a picture and some text or a blog article or a YouTube video, whatever it is. And then they might see it and then click on it and go to your website or whatever it is. So and this is just a marketing tip in general, isn't it? Just not about Facebook ads. It's you've got to put yourself in front of people in different ways, using Instagram stories, the Instagram feed, creating a YouTube channel. And sometimes it can feel demotivating, can't it, Sam, when you're putting content out there and you're like, oh, is anyone even listening to me? But they are, but you've just got to keep consistent and keep going and try and connect with people on different platforms in different ways. And that's the same principle for the Facebook ad, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I've got a little process that I go through as well when I'm starting with a new client and we're working on Facebook ads. Like Vina was saying, there's different formats to creating your ads. So in marketing, we call it your creative. So whatever it is that people are going to see, that's your creative. And in terms of like Facebook, obviously Facebook own Instagram as well. So you have the option when you're doing your ads inside of the Facebook ads manager, you have the option to also have your ads seen on Instagram as well. And there's loads of different things. So you can have a story ad. You can have you can use a post from the past that you've posted on Facebook or Instagram and use that as an ad. Like Vina was saying, you have the video ads. You have you can have a carousel of image ads, which works quite well for e-commerce brands. And that's normally one thing that I try to test first and foremost. Like Vina was saying, having 5 ads and testing different formats to see what gets people clicking. Because initially you want to get people clicking, because mostly on with Facebook, you're paying for impressions. So you just want to get as many clicks as possible to the landing page. And then if you're getting clicks and no one's buying or converting, then you want to change something obviously about that page, because people are coming there, but maybe the page is not loading fast enough. You have a high bounce rate. Maybe the price is too expensive. Maybe the page is too complicated. So then you kind of want to focus on the page. If the ad seems to be working, there's always ways to improve the ad as well. And I think this is where a lot of people make a mistake. So if they feel like, oh, my ad is working great, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to leave it there. But a lot of the times with Facebook ads, it's not about if the campaign stops working. It's more so about when the campaign stops working. So it's you have to be quite active with making sure you're constantly seeing how you can improve. But my only caveat to that is if you do have a Facebook ad that is performing well, make sure you duplicate that ad before you make any changes. So I had a client recently who made this mistake. She had a campaign that was working well, and the next week I got on a call with her. The ad wasn't performing well, and she didn't duplicate. She just went in and made all these changes,
Right.
and it wasn't working well anymore. So if you've got an ad that's converting, it's working well, but you want to make improvements, make sure you duplicate that ad, and then make any edits that you want. Just in case you think you can make improvements to it, so that if it's failing, you can just put the old one back on. So that's a tip for you. But
Sam's got too many. I've just, as you're talking, Sam, I'm like, Sam, we need to do like an advanced. I think you're like advanced Facebook marketing here. But these, again, keep on rewatching this video, because you're going, even if you're just starting with your Facebook ads, and all the tips Sam are giving, you will like just learn from what we're saying, and especially Sam, because he has got this experience. So it's so valuable. It may not click with you straight away, but keep rewatching this video. And I think maybe next month or the month after, I think we should definitely do like an advanced Facebook marketing video as well. I want to go back in terms of checking the results, because when you first, and this is something, a big mistake I made that will actually save you guys money. When I first started my Facebook ads, you get all excited, you've got your ads out, you're like, yay, party time. And then what happened was I wasn't checking the results every day. So what happened to me, I think one of my ads, no joke, ended up spending something like 40 or 50 pounds with like zero results. Like there was nothing I could get from that. And I turned it off. So again, what are your tips on that, Sam? And there is you've used that word already, a caveat. And I said at the beginning, there's going to be contradictions to what we're saying as well, because sometimes you don't want to turn off your ads, your campaigns too quickly either. If you spend sometimes £20 on an ad, on a click or whatever your conversion thing is, sometimes you might want to leave it for an extra day, because you might end up spending £25, and that then lead can then go on and buy a product from you worth hundreds. So there's a fine line, isn't there, on how quickly you turn off a campaign, isn't there, as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to touch on the first point in terms of looking at your analytics, I recommend downloading the Facebook ads app. It is so intuitive, and it just makes all of the analytics look a lot simpler than they actually look in the Facebook ads manager. And it's just easy to check it as well. If you want to, you can put notifications on as well, so you can kind of get updates on how your campaigns are doing. But it's just easy to just, wake up in the morning, pick your phone up, check your analytics, and then go about your day, just seeing how things are doing. And in terms of like pausing campaigns too early, this is where the test budget comes in. Yeah. So if you don't know how much you're planning to invest, then you're going to panic and you're going to be like, oh no, I'm spending too much money, let me pause this campaign, and people freak out. But when I've got, say, for example, £300 a month to spend, and this is my budget, you never panic, because I always encourage people to make sure you spend the entirety of your budget, or as much of it as physically possible every month, so you're not denying yourself any data when you're actually kind of reinvesting or reanalyzing your ads. So sometimes as well, your first month is the most expensive month, because you're testing all of these ads and you're testing all of these things, and not everything is going to work. But you just need to trust in the test budget and just be like, look, this is the money I've planned to spend. I'm not going to overspend, and I'm going to try my best to not underspend either. And if an ad is not working after, say, 3 weeks, then don't be afraid to give it another week, and then the next month, use the extra week's data to say, okay, cool, why is this ad not working? Is Is it the creative? Maybe I need to change the video, try an image ad, or maybe there's loads of people clicking and no one's converting. Maybe you need a bigger call to action button, or like I said, all of the changes that you can make to your landing page. So you need to go through it systematically and look at the data and seeing, okay, there's impressions, but there's no clicks. If there's impressions and people are seeing your ad, but there's no clicks, that means there's something wrong with your ad itself. So you need to change your ad. If there's clicks and no sales, then there's a miscommunication between your ad and the landing page. Something needs to change there. So
what all these stuff, Sam said, I promise you, once you start, even if you're a beginner, again, I really encourage you to save this video, because this will all make sense. If you're like, what's an impression? What's this? Oh my God. Like, it will, like, trust me, I'm not an analytical person. Like, I get I think I called Sam so many times at the beginning. I was like, Sam, I don't understand what this is. I promise you, if someone like me can, I'm still no expert. I just think I know the bare minimum really to get by on Facebook ads. But again, I think this goes back to our first point of, you know, don't see this as losing money when you do a Facebook ad. See it as you're gaining knowledge, you're gaining data, you're gaining experience in this. It's such a new market. Like, I'm not doing I stopped all my ads recently because I'm not promoting that product at the moment. But when I start doing it again, I think I'll do more videos like this in terms of, you know, really that beginner's guide to Facebook ads, because it can be so daunting if you don't know what you're doing. But there is a lot of help out there, isn't there, from Facebook? And remember, Facebook want you to stay using Facebook ads. This isn't a trick. Because think about it, you know, the more money that you spend on Facebook, they want you to stay. They don't want someone to start doing Facebook ads and stop it. So they do want to help you. And I think you can even get, I don't know if it's over a certain budget, but I think you can actually get someone from Facebook like helping you. You can actually talk to a human. So anything that you are struggling with, they can help you. I wanted to say a point in terms of investing in Facebook ads courses, because I spent, I think it was like $5,000 or more than that in learning everything about Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and marketing in general. And again, I want to do it for that more kind of all the stuff Sam's talking about, that analytical, more technical view of that. Now, this is a mistake that I don't know if it was a mistake, but this may save you money. Remember that when you invest in a course, or you pay someone else to do your Facebook ads for you, remember that they still have to use your money to test out a campaign. So the guy I was learning from, he has spent millions on Facebook ads. And even though I learned his proven system, again, going back to what we've been talking about earlier in today's stream, Facebook still had to learn. So even though I knew all this information of what to do, I still had to spend like more than £1,000 to get Facebook to understand my ads and getting that data like Sam was mentioning as well. What do you have to say about that, Sam, as well?
I mean, it's always surprising because I don't take on a lot of clients because I just don't have the time. But the clients that I have taken on in the past 12 months, whenever we're setting up their Facebook campaigns, more often than not, they're seeing profitable campaigns within the first week or two, because if you set things up correctly, then you can actually see a return a lot quicker. And some of the simple steps that I kind of take my clients through when it comes to setting up successful campaigns is, number one, obviously, like I've mentioned time and time again, is making sure you have the Facebook pixel installed. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but making sure you have the Facebook pixel installed is the very first thing you want to do. It's so easy to do it as well. And then number two is setting up your conversion tracking. So if you're selling a product through Facebook ads, or if you're trying to generate leads for a Facebook ad, then you want to tell Facebook what a successful conversion is. And that's simply by what is the thank you page, or what is the success page that someone lands on after completing a purchase or after entering their name and email address. What page do they come to? Does it say your website /thank you, or your website /customer, or whatever that is? copy that and use that as a custom conversion. I've got all of these tutorials on my channel on how to do the technical aspects of it. But like you said, Vina, Facebook will go through a learning phase. But if you tell Facebook what a conversion is and they know what a conversion is, then they will optimize your campaign for more conversions. If you don't choose the conversion campaign metric and you don't have all of these conversion metrics set up, then Facebook won't know what a conversion is. So they're just sending traffic. So there's no way of them learning. To them, success for you is just traffic. So they'll just send more traffic regardless of that, whether those visitors are actually becoming customers or leads or anything. So you want to make sure you're setting all of that up effectively so that Facebook can learn your campaign and you can not just spend, but spend and make back money profitably from your campaigns.
And remember, with everything in life as well, there are different factors to things. So if you've got a £10 product, you may get, like Sam said, you may get into profit really quickly. But if you've got a more expensive product, I think mine was like a $500 product, it may take more time again for people to get to know you, for people to get in your funnel. Like, again, you've got to... It all comes down to testing, doesn't it? That's the biggest thing. Like, you can't, if someone says they can help you save lots and lots of money, like, I would just be careful, because you've got to test things. Even if you know exactly what you're doing with Facebook ads, like, you still need to test. And another thing I wanted to talk before we kind of end. Oh, by the way, if you've got any questions about Facebook ads and you're here live, pop them in the chat now, because Sam is such a great person to ask. Even if you think it's a really basic question, if you don't know what an impression is, put it in the chat so Sam can help you, and comment below this video as well. And I'm sure Sam will be more than happy to come back and answer your questions in the comments. One thing that I really want to hammer home is that when you see people, again, you'll see Facebook, maybe after you've watched this video, you get loads of ads now for people selling you Facebook ads courses. But because I've been through that process with someone where I paid someone a lot of money to help me with this kind of stuff, I then saw the behind the scenes of what's going on. And if someone's saying to you, and remember, this is all marketing, so these people aren't bad that are doing it, they're marketing to us, aren't they? But if someone's saying to you, they've spent, they've made £1 million, selling their product by using Facebook ads, instantly you're like, oh my God, I can do the same. Like, I can be a millionaire. I just got to put Facebook ads out there. This is what they don't tell you. Even though they've made £1 million, they may have spent £950,000 on ads. Okay, so I was in this group of people and I had a lovely lady who did so well. And I think she was making maybe £20,000 a month, but that's not profit. £20,000 a month. But I think she was spending about maybe 19,000 on Facebook ads. So yeah, she was still making £1,000, but I just want people to understand that, because I didn't know that. I just thought these people they're, making 20 grand a month, but that's not profit. They're making 20 grand, but they might be spending 19,000 on Facebook ads. So I just wanted to make sure I covered that. So people just understand, because not enough people talk about that at all.
Yeah, I think it's a reality, and it's something that people miss off of their sales. I think someone was saying, what's an impression? And just to kind of quickly cover that, an impression is the people who have seen your ad. So like Vina was saying, you might have seen a Facebook ad before watching this video, or a video about, Facebook ad course or whatnot. So you might not have clicked on that ad, but you physically have seen it. You might have skipped it, but you still seen it. So that would count as an impression if someone sees your ad, regardless of whether they click it. So 1,000 people might see it. From that 1,000, 100 people might click. And I think, yeah, you're right, Vina, in terms of like being realistic about what you spend and what you make back. I do a lot of webinars. I promote a lot of webinars on Facebook ads. And I kind of, I think last year, one of my last webinars, I might have maybe spent only £300 on like promoting that one webinar. and I was able to do roughly £1,200 to £1,500 in terms of revenue for that particular webinar. So you can get to a stage where you don't have to spend huge sums of money to make huge sums of money back, or to make substantial amount of money back. It's again kind of like, once you run that ad for a while and you're practicing, then you know, okay, I can put in X amount and I can get out Y amount, and it does become somewhat of a formula really, once you kind of affect how to do it.
Oh yeah, and actually on that point, I don't want to scare people and be like, I don't know if the message is like, oh my, I'm not going to do Facebook ads now. Do it, because at the end of the day, it's marketing. You've got nothing to lose. If you can put a little budget aside, going back to the beginning of the point we said of, you know, if you're spending £50, £100 a month on Facebook marketing, you know, big companies, they spend millions on TV ads. And, you know, if you've got a business, you have to market yourself. I think so many people try and get by with doing nothing, and then they wonder why have they got no clients. It's because you've got to get out your comfort zone. I didn't want to learn about Facebook ads, trust me, or YouTube ads, but I got out of my comfort zone and I learned it. And I really hope that over these next coming months, I can put together some tutorials, like for people who are like me, who are just like, I just don't get this. Like, I just don't understand. Any questions, please get them in now. I'm going to go and say hello to a few people. So, hey, Roland. Hey, Donnell. I've seen you on the channel a lot recently. So thank you so much for popping in today. We've got Mon here, Lego World War II Animations. Hello for you. Just keep doing these amazing videos. Thank you. Quinton Banks is here. Adra, have I said your name right? Adra. And also we've got a question here from Adrian Vlogs. He says, you do know, or I don't know if this is a question actually, you do know you can credit card charge back Facebook ads. They never respond to chargebacks because they're customer service. Okay, I don't think that's a question. I think it's something about getting refunds.
Yeah, it's more of a complaint.
I think that's what. Yeah, so I think the message of today is go for it. Be prepared to spend money, but in the long term, and I think Sam just said it then, I want to emphasize it, is that it does become more stable. So even though you may end up spending more money in the short term, in the long term, if like I know people, and I'm sure Sam does this himself, where when they get an ad that's working, it's done. You can, you know, it's like what's that? Well, it's like an automation thing then, isn't it? Like you might put in £10 and you may get £20 back. And that's what so many people aim for. Even the guy who I learned from, he said a good campaign is you put in £1 and you get £2 back. And when he first said that to me, I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. I don't want to make £1, but it actually makes sense, because if you can get that, that kind of reliability, of course you're going to do that. If you can give Facebook £1 and they give you back £2, why would you not do it? So please don't get frustrated. Keep on reaching out for support from Facebook. Go on Sam's channel. He's got loads of tutorials on there. The link is below to the part 1 of this video as well. I should hopefully be having some really kind of beginner tutorials as well for you. So don't give up. Keep going. And is there any last thing you want to say in terms of just what you've learned from Facebook ads targeted at a beginner?
Targeted at a beginner, I would say, like kind of similar to the advice that you gave on my channel, which is go for it. You have to start somewhere, and a lot of the things that we've spoken about in this video, you're going to come across. You don't need to know everything about Facebook ads to start Facebook ads. But that being said, like a lot of people kind of run Facebook ads by boosting a post. And I would strongly recommend, taking a dive into the deep end, go into the actual Facebook ads manager, running your Facebook ads from in there, and just kind of taking your time with figuring out what everything means and how everything works. And really giving it a go and not giving up in your first week.
Oh God, yeah, trust me, that is how I felt. I was like, oh, I can't do this. And it is scary. when I first started putting money in, I thought, oh my God, the money is just going, it's going. But again, I'm going to go back to the advice that Sam gave me when I first started Facebook ads, and it's just have a budget aside. And every month, and you choose how much, £50, £100, whatever it is, but have that as your marketing cost. And if you get something back, amazing. And if you don't, it's okay, because number one, that is your marketing budget. And number two, you never know who has seen that ad, and you never know when they will buy from you. It might take them a month, a year, 2 years, who knows? And I'll give you a story actually, because I think someone saw one of my YouTube ads maybe last year or even the year before now. And then it took them literally a year to buy a £500 product from me. So again, imagine if I just went, oh, this doesn't work. I'm just not going to bother now. Like, imagine if I did that. You know, you've got to keep going, and you've got to be consistent as well, don't we?
100%.
Sam, this has been amazing. Well, I think, yeah, we're going to do an advanced Facebook, because I forgot that you've got all this knowledge on Facebook ads. So Sam was like, yeah, let me just give it to them. But just save this video, because I promise you, once you start your Facebook ad, you'll need all this amazing information that Sam has given you. This is the Marketing After Party every first Friday of the month, 2 p.m. BST, and we start it on Sam's channel first. So I urge you, go and watch part 1 of this video right now. The link is below, and in that video, we talked all about the structure, didn't we?
Yep.
A video ad. We talked about scripting, and that is brilliant for beginners. So make sure you go and watch that. Yay!
Awesome. Take it easy.
And oh, don't forget to subscribe. If you've never subscribed to me or Sam's channel, make sure you do. And we will see you. I will see you actually next Friday at 2 p.m. BST. Love ya.
Bye, guys.